an amazing thing has happened. And that is, I became aware of something that was happening. And of what I'm speaking has really fine connections to today's lecture. Up to now, in this realization that I just briefly mentioned, I've been kind of bumping along the bottom of 3D and feeling every nuance that it had to offer me. While at the same time, this that I have begun to open up to more today made itself so evident and so clear to me that it's always been here. But it's as if I had to go through some experiences to get to the place of looking again and seeing, wow, this is a new normal. Everything that we are experiencing right now is changing. It's changing as I'm speaking. You may look at me and see me as you saw me the last time and say, oh, that's Clark. Well, you're looking at your image of me and saying, that's Clark. Because I'm not the Clark I was. Can't be. Even though I try to be, because I want to please you in believing I am who you believe me to be. You know how that goes? We are letting go of so much now. And if you're doing it voluntarily, congratulations. If you're fighting it tooth, hook, and nail, congratulations. Because every way, in any way, we're experiencing ourselves. Even if we're projecting it onto somebody else and saying, I'm experiencing you. No, I'm experiencing who I believe you to be. There may be some of you in there, but it's mostly going to be this coming and going. We are in a state of transition right now. And please don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to make this out to be just a psychological drama. There are things that are happening in the world right now that are going to get our attention very shortly. And it's going to really cause people to stop and reconsider who they are, where their values are, and what are they going to do with their lives. Now, we are being given instruction and encouragement to raise our rate of vibration. And to keep doing this, because in doing this, we develop a capacity to do it to such an extent that we start experiencing life through those vibrations instead of through the dullness that we were experiencing it through. Or, if you didn't like the dullness, the way that you tried to alter it and change it. This is an internal experience that we're going through, and it is definitely affected by what's going on externally. One of the things that really excited me and inspired me for today's lecture was in an AARP, the magazine that they... It's not the magazine, it's like the newspaper. There was an article in there on Muhammad Ali and his wife. And he has been, for 30 years now, living with Parkinson's. If any of you ever experienced him when he was young, and what that man was capable of doing, and his charisma, and his brashness, and his conviction, you knew you were experiencing an extraordinary person. One to such an extent that they called him, still do, the greatest. But from then to now, because of Parkinson's, his abilities have changed considerably. And with each and every change, he has had to come to a place of accepting this as the new normal. Now, while that seems to be an extreme, it's happening to thousands of people. And it goes with those that take care of them, too. Because, you see, we are connected, inseparably connected. Sometimes I wish to God we weren't, but nevertheless, we are. Of course, I'm only speaking of myself. You never ever feel that way, I'm sure. So, this is the point that then we come to certain places in our life, Sometimes it will be an experience that will catch you up. Sometimes it will be a dis-ease, an accident. Sometimes it will be some kind of a loss. Sometimes it will be some kind of a gain. But these are to get our attention so that we can look again and say, what's going on here? Most of the time, if it's good, hey, it's great. Who the hell wants to pay attention to that? Let's just enjoy it. But the connection between what is and how we engage in it reveals our perception, you see. That shows ever so clearly our awareness of ourself, our connections with life through a variety of things. Sometimes it's belief. Sometimes it's experiential certainty. And a lot of times it's just plain outright delusion. We are a delusional race, in case you hadn't noticed. But we are only acting that out because what's really there is a dynamic within each and every and all of us that so is ready, willing, and able to express our true nature. Had the opportunity to have that confirmed yesterday. I went to a memorial service. Most people know memorial service is the only thing you look forward to is when they're over. Bring the food and the drink on. This was the most extraordinary experience I have ever had in my life. It was the most meaningful memorial service for me personally, and also for everyone else there. Everyone was speaking of Marie. And they were speaking of Marie in very positive expressions because that's who she is. She is an expression of love that is as current now as it was back then. For some, of course, whenever someone dies, there is loss, there's grief, there's suffering, or there's at least relief. Sometimes there's even outright joy. That son of a bitch is finally gone. Because we never feel that way about our loved ones. It's only our enemies, right? So the point of this is that there was a fifth dimensional reality expressing itself through all those there, even if they weren't, for the most part, consciously aware of it. But what they were consciously aware of was Marie and the effect that she had upon them, that they are choosing to live right now. Here we are, a new normal. Things are not going to be tomorrow as they are today. Things are changing. You cannot prevent it from happening. Now, working on yourself is another story, and that's what this is about today. To encourage you to shuck what needs to be shucked, get rid of it, get it out of your system, let go of your addictions, let go of your distractions, but at the same time, pay attention, because sometimes in the process of ridding yourself and of cleansing and clearing, you really affect others. Now, if you don't care, no big deal. But the point is, again, we're all connected in this, inseparably so. There's a part of you that has a capacity to be present enough to have compassion and empathy. Sometimes to bring that forward requires more than just mouth, lip service. Sometimes you actually have to find the courage to be who you really are so that you can find that this new normal is stirring you and stimulating and encouraging you to find the very best in you that you can and live it. Don't just look at it. Don't just think about it. Go beyond that and bring it forward. You see, just like in this article with regard to Muhammad Ali, his wife is there for him in his corner, doing things for him that he cannot do for himself. And expressing it in ways that when she wakes up in the morning, she wakes up with realization. Today is a new day. I need to be present. I need to take care of myself so that I can take care of him. And I also need to look and see that even though the form changes, Even though it may not be able to do like it used to do, the spirit in there is still vitally alive. If you can give the nurture that it needs to feel good about itself, it's not going to wither. It's going to continue to grow, even through such experiences. Now, while this may seem to be so selective, it is. It's meant just for you. Because even though you may see yourself as a really young person and what's all this talk, you are going to grow. You're going to age. You're going to start seeing things differently than the way you do now. May what you learn now help to improve you so that when you get there then, you'll still be tapped into that same source that gave you what you are using now to live your life and expand and grow and unfold and awaken and be very present, because what's happening now is happening to such an intensity and to such a rapidity. You need to know that there's going to be a new normal coming into your life very soon. Thank you. For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.